Gold Note started out as an analog first company. That's because our founder, Maurizio, actually was very passionate about vinyl. His first project ever was a tone-arm, which then developed into a turntable design. So the whole company, really the inception, was about how do you make vinyl sound as good as possible and how do you make the reproduction of vinyl as accurate as possible. And we started with turntables, and the necessary complement to a turntable is a phono stage. So it is just natural that you look at how does the turntable perform with the phono stage. If the turntable is a way of reproducing vinyl and the phono stage acts with the turntable, doesn't it make sense to just build both so that you have the best possible synergy? And so that's what led us to develop and launch the first phono stages. And I think we hit a milestone with a PH10. And there was just something about the way we approached the phono stage as a category of devices that is fundamentally different, I think. The idea behind it was that phono stages are analog by nature, but it doesn't have to be a hassle to deal with it, because you don't have necessarily to be swapping circuits or acting on micro switches or dip switches, opening the chassis. And if you can find a way to adjust how the phono stage behaves when it's matched with a cartridge and a turntable on the go, then you can actually listen to the way it affects the sound in real time. And so that was sort of one of the key philosophies that we were pursuing when we started designing this kind of phono stages. At Gold Note, we are very passionate about the way you experience a turntable, which is not just the way you listen to it, it's the way you live with it every day. So it's the way it looks, it's the way it feels, because it's something that you touch, it's something that you listen to, it's something that you see, and it's in front of you every day, all day long. And you're going to live with this particular piece probably for years. So at least that's what we hope. It is important, it's part of the experience. You can create great listening experiences by focusing on a holistic design approach, which means you just take into consideration all the elements, not just the way it sounds, but everything, because it's more than that. There is more to it. And so we're always been very passionate. We've put a lot of effort into it, from the selection of the materials, the way you put them together, the way you treat them, the way they feel. And all of this passion, then it's being transferred into the phono stage, because at the end of the day, they're sitting next to each other and they are almost like partners for the rest of their lives. And when you find that chemistry that really works, it's like magic. So the same amount of effort, research, passion, love went into turntable and then into creating phono stages. And I think it shows, because then when you look at it, you feel that it's different from most of the other phono stages you find on the market. And to me, at least, it just gives you the idea that it's been an extra touch of love going into it. Design and materials are obviously something that we're really passionate about, because they are part of our DNA. Maybe that's something that we inherited from our Italian heritage. Maybe it's something that we just love, and somehow all these people that really care about the same values have come together to make this happen. Eventually, it just appeared to us that the only way to really do that in a way that it's intuitive enough, but also allows for enough flexibility, is yes, to put some switches potentially on the front panel, but if you don't have that much real estate, then the display is the only real way to go. And so this combination of factors led to the development of the PH10, which exists now along with two other phono stages. One for the 1000 series, which is our full width component, and the 5 series, which is actually a half width component. Across the spectrum, you just see that the same idea is to take the user input through a digital interface, so a display. Can be a touch display, as we do on the PH5, can be a rotary knob and a display, as we do on the PH10 and the PH1000, and take that input, turn it from something digital into something analog. And I think once you start to see the potential of applying such a solution, then the realm of possibilities just opens up, because all of a sudden you're not limited anymore to, for example, just one specific de-emphasis curve, one equalization curve. You can play with multiple. As long as you have enough real estate to actually design the analog path, then you can actually bring it to the display, and that means that the user can play with it. The purpose of the phono stage is to help you to listen to the vinyl in the most accurate possible way. And so by providing this flexibility, then we make sure that whoever needs it can actually access it when they need it. So it's not something you have to use, it's something that you might want to use if your vinyl collection requires it. And that's pretty much the idea behind our philosophy when it comes down to designing phono stages. If you can make it happen, then the results just go beyond what has been possible until now, and you get some very unique capabilities, including, for example, something that I really love, which is the possibility of making endless equalization curves on the PH1000, or the possibility to enable and disable the Class A preamp stage that is on board. And all of this just on the go as you're playing music in a very seamless way. And I think this just takes the whole experience of listening to vinyl to the next level.